At least 20 have been killed and dozens injured in Russian missile and drone attacks on Ukraine overnight. The raids targeted the eastern city of Dobrapilla and the Kharkiv area, where multi-storied buildings were destroyed and numerous cars were damaged. According to Ukrainian authorities, these strikes highlight Russia's unaltered goals in the face of international demands for peace negotiations. Simultaneously, the United States has suspended key military and intelligence assistance to Ukraine, denying access to vital satellite imagery, which may show Ukraine's ability to monitor Russian movements. The halt happens as President Zelensky calls for tighter air defenses and more sanctions against Russia. Military actions on both sides continue with tensions running high. We are joined by Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist located in New Delhi, for more on this topic. Gautam, we are constantly seeing escalated Russian violence amid international calls for peace talks. What's going on here? Why is Russia scaling up its violence?
I think Russia has arms and armaments to scale up the violence, whereas Ukraine is running out. It is keeping the pressure on while the peace talks are going to be conducted. Zelensky is to meet, I think, tomorrow or thereabouts in Saudi Arabia with the Americans, and will have to sue for peace without conditions. Up to now, he's been trying to say security guarantees. He's been trying to say resume, aid and arms. All of that is unacceptable and has been stopped by the United States. The reports of the Europeans coming through with planes and so on are just reports. Nothing has actually been delivered. Russia is very against Europe getting involved, and this will complicate the peace talks from the Russian side. So I think it is going to be a unilateral acceptance of peace for Ukraine without conditions, and Russia will agree to peace provided no European involvement, direct European involvement is seen in Ukraine, and they get to keep the 20% odd territory they've already captured.
Gautam, what can you tell me about the effect that the US halting intelligence sharing is going to have directly on the battlefield? Why have the US done this, and what can we see change on the battlefield and military tactics because that this has happened?
Well, without it, they're flying blind. The next thing is, if the Starlink goes, they are totally blind. Starlink is controlled by Elon Musk, and there's already been a threat that it will be stopped. So no intelligence, no satellite intelligence, and no communications, no weapons. It's an unsustainable situation for Ukraine and Zelensky.
Gautam, one people who are speaking very much in favor of Ukraine is European leaders. There has been discussions of possible deployment of European peacekeepers to the region. Russia have said that this is not a viable option. What can you tell me about this? Might it be possible that we see European peacekeepers on the ground in Ukraine?
Well, Russia doesn't want it. Europeans, as of now, are saying things without actually doing them, because troop deployments from Britain, France have been talked about for quite some time without actual troop deployments. In fact, the odd soldier that is fighting on behalf of the Ukrainians from Britain or France is being captured and prosecuted in their own countries because it is not legitimate. Will they want this kind of escalation? If they actually step into Ukraine, they're in for a long war and casualties. And what will that do for Britain and France?
Gautam, stepping away from the battlefield and talking more diplomacy, we've obviously seen that scene in the Oval Office. What can we expect from Ukrainian diplomacy once these Saudi Arabia talks roll around? Can we see an improvement with the relationship with Ukraine and with the United States?
Well, Zelensky, if he offers peace without conditions, the relationship will improve dramatically. Now, if he fails to do that, and depending on his advice and strategic insights, then America will ratchet up the pressure some more. And the survival of Zelensky as the head of the Ukrainians will be in greater doubt than it is today. There have been threats made that he will be replaced, but up to now, they've given him a chance to do as America is saying. Now, if he doesn't, if he still insists on security guarantees, if he still tries to lean on the Europeans in order to act muscular, I think the talks could fail.
Gautam Mukherjee, thank you very much for joining us.